Hey guys, that Erickson here. I just wanted to say that the video coming up, I filmed it ComicCon Brazil yesterday, December 3rd. The audio's a little bad, so I just wanted to say bear with me. We'll be getting right into the video right after that, and hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, that Erickson here. I am at ComicCon Brazil. It's December 3rd, 2016. I wanted to film a video for you guys, but over there at the Twitch booth, it's super noisy. There's a lot of music. I took some videos, some photos. I'll be posting them through the video while we're here. But I just wanted to start this video because we're going to be talking about campaigns and Crowfall. So stay tuned.
Alright friends, so let's get started with campaigns. This is the true crux and goal of Crowfall that I would say. We talked about how they use the term Throne War Simulator. It's combining a live living game like an MMO with the ability to win, so to speak, like a strategy game or a MOBA that you might be familiar with. So why, do you ask, campaigns? What is something new that it brings to the table? Well, it's basically a way to get a fresh start. They refer to it as a reset mechanic. The campaign allows the game to give everyone a clean slate and an even playing ground per each campaign. The ArtCraft team have a little story that they like to use to describe this system. They call it the Uncle Bob story. I'm sure you've pretty much probably experienced this too with something like this with your friends or family. But basically, let's just say your family gets together every year and they play a game of Risk, which is an incredible strategy board game if you haven't given it a try yet. So year one, the family is getting together, the playing field is even, it's tight, but at the end of the year, Uncle Bob is ahead. And then we move on to year two, and Uncle Bob is clearly the strongest. He's starting to pull away with the game. Fast forward a couple years, and now Uncle Bob is an unstoppable force, and you can see basically where this is heading. So without a reset mechanic, things stop being fun. Not even Uncle Bob will want to play, as he'll have nobody to play against. People will stop showing up, and it just might be so unchallenging that he'll even stop playing. I'm sure maybe some of you felt this with MMOs that have a loot carousel or a planned loot strategy to them. Like you progress through tier 1, tier 2, and once you hit that top tier and you've got the best gear, what are you even logging in for? It might not be fun at all. You can translate this into a PvP game if you're into like Battlegrounds, and you get to your gear ranking and you have your ranked rating as high as you can probably get it, given your spare time, given your skill set. Who knows? So without a reset mechanic, these types of games can become stale. So I think it's a great idea that they're putting something like this in. It also is a great way to get people new to the game to jump in and start playing without fear of being too far behind. Because the way it will work is certain campaigns might have, you're only allowed to bring in X amount of gear to it. So even people that have a great gear will still be behind. And the way that the skill system works, which I'll cover in other videos, is since the skill system will kind of start to ramp up exponentially, at some point the high level guys, it's going to take them so long to get like a higher tier skill in the later tiers of the tree that a new person might be able to catch up to them to a medium degree. And then take into the account that we have vessels, which we haven't covered yet, and the vessels will have a ceiling as to how much skills you can bring in. It's going to be pretty even, I would say. So the campaigns themselves are going to have various rule sets. Anything that we can probably think of, Crowfall, the Crowfall team can easily create. They have an amazing dynamic world creation. You can find the video on the official Crowfall YouTube. I'll see if I can find that and throw it into the description of this video, because it's pretty cool to watch. So while your crow is static, the worlds themselves can change and be different from campaign to campaign. The campaigns, hopefully, their goal is to accommodate many players at once, up to a upper level of 2,000 players, they've once said. They also have a cool video of where they're showing 200 characters moving on screen, and the lag is minimal, and it's on a not high-end laptop as well. That's a pretty cool video as well. But anyway, there will be many campaigns running simultaneously. This is great too because it helps people pick a campaign that fits their playstyle. So one example they use is a hardcore, dropped into the world, naked, nothing on you, a Terminator style, so to speak. And you can just see how that would be kind of cool. As of right now, in the alpha, we don't have a lot of versions for the campaigns just yet. Right now, they're still primarily testing the crafting. So we'll be getting more info as it comes to us, and I'll be sure to be passing it along to you guys. The main version right now that we have is basically dropped into a world. You got no map, you got no gear, and you got to start crafting and getting safe, because as soon as you're dropped in, you can be killed. So ignore the graphics that I'll be showing in this part. Like I said, it's still very very rough. It's alpha. My ping isn't so great because I'm living in Brazil, as I mentioned, but you'll get the picture. So in this format, if you get killed or kill someone, they're free reign. You can loot them fully, take off everything that they have in their inventory. The gear that they're actually wearing in their hands or their armor will take a certain amount of durability loss. So this game is going to have durability, and all pieces of gear will at some point break. And this is no turning back break, right? You'll have to get a new piece of gear. And then you might come back to life being naked and itemless again. So who knows? This is cool for the fact that it keeps the player-driven economy going, because, as I mentioned in my first video, that the best gear is going to be player-made. So taking this into account, you can see that crafting will be really important, and that economy and that circle of life, so to speak, will be pretty important. Okay, so this will bring me to my next point, that if this is not your playstyle, maybe there will be a non-full loot campaign, for example, that you would prefer, or something even a little more forgiving than that. So I assume this will present you with some questions, such as, well, why would I play a more dangerous version with a lot of risk? Well, with risk comes reward, and the reward will be the spoils you get at the end of a campaign. How is that determined, you ask? Well, as of yet, it's not super clear, but I did mention we have a home base, so to speak, called the Eternal Kingdom. Think of this as your home away from home. The world will be designed in rings, where the outer ring is this persistent Eternal Kingdom where you can hang out, kick back, craft, meet with your guild in between campaigns, and a place to store your goods. And these systems will be more described in other videos as we get more information. Then, how do you get these items into your Eternal Kingdom? This is where you'll return via the embargo system. There will be locations during your campaign where you can basically drop off anything you want to secure in an embargo. Think of it as a bank vault, for example. Once you deposit your gear into these vault spaces, they'll be safe until the end of the campaign. These locations are typically dead in the middle of the fight, so it's in the thick of it. It's dangerous. You'll need to bring some friends. Once dropped off, it sits there till the campaign ends, and if you're on the winning side, you'll get to secure some or all of those spoils. How that will work is probably going to be dependent on the campaign and the system as we get more information. So let's say, for example, we have a campaign where you can only get to keep something out of your embargo if your team or faction wins. Maybe you will get totally squat if you lose. Who knows? Like I said, this is still kind of up in the air. I think it's great because it will push competition and dictate who will play which campaign. It basically pushes players into their own niche, and basically will create a great environment for people. I don't think there's hardcore people that want it super easy. Of course, there's going to be trolls, but I think it's going to push people in the direction of their playstyle, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. So based on this, you guys might say, well, I'll just pop around between many campaigns. I'll hop in and out. Obviously, this can create a big imbalance and will most likely not be allowed. You'll probably be locked into your campaign of choice until it's completed, or maybe you can start a new one, but at a severe penalty. We do not know full well of the details of that choice just yet, but once I get that information, we'll be definitely covering it here. Some of the campaigns might have a win condition, such as take over X mines or get X total kills. Who knows? The options are limitless. The general example we seem to be following right now is a time-based system based on seasons. And the hunger, which is a mysterious force that I'll cover in a later video, you'll be basically dropped into a world, and it's spring. The world is fresh and dangerous, baseball is ready to start, and resources are plentiful. Now it's the time for you to plant your mark, make some friends, and plan the rest of your time in the campaign. After that, summer rolls around, and it's a beautiful time. Confessors are in their swimsuits and the barbecue is cooking. However, the creatures are now starting to get hungry and the resources are starting to run down. By the time fall rolls around, the leaves are slowly falling off their branches and monsters are even more desperate. And so are the crows. The conflict is growing, alliances are breaking, or being formed in a pinch. Then, before you know it, boom, it's the dead of winter. It's a great board game, by the way. And you're starving, the hunger is controlling you, and the campaign is coming to an end to make that last push to see who wins. So now the campaign ends. The winners are determined, and to the winners go the spoils, and they get to carry their items back to the Eternal Kingdom, and can either use it to build their empire, trade it to friends or guilds that specialize in something, or hell, maybe they'll even sell it to the very same enemies they just vanquished to get it, which is pretty awesome, and it also shows the cycle of the player economy well, and that should be a great system for all playstyles. Okay guys, well this was just a brief overview of the campaign system, just a general idea of how it'll work. Obviously a lot of this stuff is up in the air, and we're going to be getting more and more into exactly what to expect as we get more information of the rule sets. We had a few example rule sets, but I won't get into those because who knows, those might change. I hope you guys found this video interesting. Maybe if anything it gives you a little spark of excitement to play Crowfall. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button, sure to subscribe. My videos are getting over 100 views in less than 24 hours time, so I really want to thank you guys for coming by, checking it out. It means a lot to me as a brand new YouTuber with no experience. My first goal right now is to hit that 100 subs mark. I think at the time of this recording I'm close to 40, I'm doing great. I'm very proud of that. So stay tuned to the channel. I'll have plenty of content for you guys in the future. I'm not going to stop. I'm fully dedicated to Crowfall. So, once again, it's That Erickson, and I'll see you next time, friends.